Hi. Good day to every one of you that are watching this live podcast. Today we have a major topic to address. We have a major topic to discuss in this live podcast of today. And we are going to go straight to the point of why we are here today. Alright guys, welcome to For Humanity TV. And today we are going to address some certain issues that are plaguing the life of every one of us who lives on this planet Earth. There are some of these serious issues that none of the world leaders are paying attention to. This is what we are going to focus on today. The real problem every world leaders has ignored. This is the topic of what we are going to treat in today's live podcast. The real problem that every world leaders has ignored. And this problem is actually what is plaguing the whole nations of the world. These are the real issues. Other than they tend to discuss many other profiting and business deals and ignoring the masses, the environmental hazard and some social activities that are plaguing the citizens of each individual countries. So guys, we are going to have the discussion today. It's going to be an interactive podcast. And by the time we see some people who are going to connect, then we'll begin to have that interactions. There are some real issues that are plaguing the relations, every relations of the world today. That almost all the leaders of the world have paid a deaf ear to this real issue that are plaguing everyone. All right, guys, if you are just tuning in, this is For Humanity. In this YouTube channel, we address some series of events that are unfolding, thereby doing the least we could to give arms and help to every or anyone that we come across that are in need of assistance. This is what we do in this channel. This is why the channel name carry the profile name that says For Humanity. We try to give back to the society in the little way we can. So we are going to discuss have an interactive class like we already see in the topic. The real issue that most nations of the world leaders has ignored. These issues is what is plaguing every individuals in today's world. In 2026, if you look at the statistics of the depression rate of every country is on the world highest rate as we speak now. The rate of depression is on a high stake, and these are real issues that government are not really paying attention to because they are on day in and day out on a forum, business forums, business day that is really not connecting to the well-being of its own citizens. And we are just going to read on what happened in this year 2026 Economic Forum. There are a lot of highlights that came out from this year 2026 Economic Forum. And most of these issues which they discuss are not quite relating to the issue that is plaguing the world. The discussion is in on and on the same issue that is going to make the world be chaotic. These are still what they are discussing on. And here we are in this world as of now. Depression is on a high level. And the surprising part is this depression rate is on the youth. The youth cycle is the highest. When you try to look on the rate of depression as of 2026, you will see that the youth share the highest number. The youth share the highest number of depression rate. Hi, hello. So we are here in today's live podcast to have some interactive class on some of the biggest issue that is plaguing the world today that the world government are not paying attention to. And this is why you see a whole lot of things that is going on in most nations today is so chaotic and no one really know what is going to happen next because the real issues are not being tackled, are not really being focused on. Why they are closing billions of these day in and day out. Investment is going on crypto currencies, AI issues. All of these are what the government are focusing their attention on. But rather, these are not the major issues that really needed to be attacked, that really needed to be, to be tackled. These are not the real issues. The real issues are the people, the citizens of every nations are what the government need to focus their attention on. And I look at this year 2026 economic forum. Most of the topic of the things they discuss is not in any way relating to how to make the economy stabilize or how to implement a system that is going to help every citizen of every nations to live in a well-being life. There is no such discussion. There is no such initiative that is going to make any citizens live in a better place. So I kind of want to think, what are actually the reason of all of this discussion? That they have every year, there is going to be a gatherings of all the leaders of the world. They discuss on how to implement or invent some technological advancement, or how to implement some advancement that is going to boost the economy. But those advancements are not really that effective in the life of the citizen of any country. And for this reason, this brings me to the question to ask: why are the real issue not really being focused on? Whereby there is disastrous activities happening every day, every moment, every single moment. There are a lot of conflict that is going on in today's world. The conflict that is taking the life of most individuals. This conflict is destroying the peace and the stability of every country's economy. And why are these issues not being focused on? This is why we want to have the discussion today. But before this, the major discussion, we want to read some of the issues that we believe the government are missing out from. Let's read 2026 depression rate by countries. Then you will begin to realize that a lot of things is happening today. That if we don't take precaution now, what is going to happen in the next 5 years, if there will be? What will be the reality of the next 6 years? What will be the reality of next 10 years? If the world we live now is on this height, and the youth are mostly affected. The youth are mostly affected. The youth today are on a high risk of depression. The youth of every nations, they are on a high risk of depression. And there are so many things that are causing these depressions. A lot of things that are causing depressions, which the government know. And they are not paying attention to these real issues that is plaguing his own citizens. And this is where the whole problem is. This is where the problem is, guys. And if you are watching for the first time, this is for Humanity TV. We are here day in and day out, discussing the real issues of life and how humanity can combine together and see the effect we can be able to apply to see the world in a better place. If you happen to be here for the first time, please like, subscribe, and give your comments so that YouTube will also recommend this podcast or this channel to the rest of the people. All right, guys. I always said, we are here together. We are family in this channel, and what we try to do is to create an awareness and also enhance mental stabilities so that your well-being could miss a lot for anyone who is in need of help. Because if I am stable enough to take care of any other person, that is a plus, that is an advantage. This is an awareness we are trying to create here. So, right, guys, let me read what this year, on the today is the 4th of February, and here is what the statistics of depression in today's world states. It said depression rate by 2026 is on the highest level, on the highest level. In the sense, it has never been so for decades. Depression has never been so for decades. But now there is a high volumetry rate of depression. And the most trigger part of this issue is youth are mostly affected. The youth are mostly affected. And there is a saying that said the youth are leaders of tomorrow. if the youth are mostly affected of this plague that is causing the world to bend on his knee, and these same youth are going to be the leader of tomorrow, what do you think is going to be the future that we are going to experience in the next 20, 15 years? If there is going to be, what do you think if there is a psycho diseases that is plaguing the world today, a psychotic disease that is plaguing the world, depression, because no one actually know what is going on. Everyone is just at the edge of whatever it could be we are going to take, and the world leaders are not focusing their attention on it at all. If they are going to be discussing on how to implement some policies that will enhance the growth of the GDP, the growth of the economic standard, and there is no any implementation that is going to enhance the stability, the mental state of every citizen that dwells in the country, that is already a problem. Because it's high time, not that the government are not aware of this real problem. They are aware that there is actually a huge problem here, but they don't know how to tackle it. This is where the most tricky part of this issue is. They don't know what to do or how to tackle this issue of the depression that is plaguing the earth. And this leaves me with a question to think: if the government does not know what to do, so what is likely to be the answer or the solution to the rate of depression? What then would be the slightly solution to the rate of depression? It has never been this for ages, for decades. Depression has never come to this rate. What is causing it? What is the real problem that is causing depression? Because if the government are not tackling it, who then is going to tackle the issue of depression? Depression is not an issue of medication. No, it's not a thing of go and take medications, it's going to go out or it will burn out. No, depression is, I'll call it, a spiritual state that is beyond visibility. Because once such a state comes in a man, it only takes a supernatural power to uplift such a situation from such an individual. And here we are. That is the reason why the government cannot, tackle the issue of depression, because they don't know what the cause of depression is. Rather, they might know, they might be aware of the cause of depression, but they don't know the real solution, or the real acknowledgeable solution to be offered to reduce this rate of depression. And this is what we are going to elaborate on in today's live podcast. Guys, if you are watching for the first time, please do like to support this channel with your like and subscriptions, and also your comment is an introductory class. Like I always say, is an introductory class. You can say hi and give your support, and also write where you are watching from, and in this we can have this interaction with with one another, and rub our mind together, because we are here for ourselves, to grow ourselves mentally, spiritually, and in a standard state as best we could. So this is why this channel is being created. All right, guys, this is what the rate of each country depressions stated. As of Syria, we have 8.44% 100k person, 8.44% in 100k person, and as of United Kingdom, we have 7.44% k rate in 100k of people that are depressed. Out of 100 individuals, you are going to see 7% rate of depressions, and these depressions are among the youths. The youths are mostly affected of this issue that is plaguing the earth, and it's not just only restricted in one region. This is generally the whole world. The rate of depression as of now, 2026, February 4th, 2026, is on the highest state, and each country has their own volumetry. And let's see Ukraine. Ukraine, the rate of depression in Ukraine is of 6.75% K. Each person in Ukraine at the moment, the rate of depression rate in the depression rate in Ukraine at the moment is of 6.75 per 100% K human being. And in Tunisia's, the rate of depression is of 6.35 per 100% K human being that are being depressed. And let's continue. It's continuing on and on. You have it in Lebanon, in Greece, in Turkey, in Iceland, Mauritania, Chile, Libya, Israel. This is the map of the whole world. the map of generally the whole world, the depression rate generally in the whole world. And let's see the youth, because like I said, the youth is mostly affected in this whole scenario. The youth are mostly affected. The rate of depression in the cycle of the youth is on the high level. And what are the factors that contribute to these depressions? One of the factors that contribute to this depression is should I call it a steady attachment to devices, electronic device. This is one of the things that have also contributed to the depression rate in among the youth. Because out of 100%, let me call it 10%, 1% of no 2% of 10% rate in the youth session, you're going to see each individual are mostly attached to their device. It might be telephone, it might be electronic device, or anything at all that is devices. The youth are mostly connected to the electronic device, and it almost seems impossible to ask any youth under the age of 7 to 22 to leave their device, their phone device, for at least, let's say, 2 days. Do not operate your phone for at least 2 days. Just try to meditate. Stay calm in one position. Be steady in that spot for at least 24 hours. Do not touch your phone device. Do not engage any device activities. Just try to meditate. Read any positive, should I call it, whatever that could incite your spiritual or enhance your spiritual mentality. Engage in such activities. Go out, have fun, do some of those things that could revitalize your spirit. And this is where you will see that a whole lot of youth, if you could spare 2 days at 24 hours out of the rest 7 days, those 24 hours will be your most memorable moment. This is one of the things that contributes to the depression rate in today's world. Most youth are mostly attached to their phone device. Their electronic device is one of the reasons why there is a huge lot of depressions in today's world. And these are the issues the government are not ready to tackle, or they are not ready or willing, because they have ignored this certain plague that is eating up the world. And in the economic forum, what they discuss is quite on how to implement a lot of device that will also contribute to the depression rate. Just watch out. If the world is not more concerned or showing an attention towards the depression rate as of 2026 now, in 2027, the rate of depression is going to jump on its height. The rate of mental instability is going to rise to the top. The reason, because there are going to be a lot of introduction, a lot of uh, invention that will escalate the rate of depression to be on its maximum height. Because what is actually causing the depression is what the world is bringing out, is this new invention that is coming out. And as the new inventory came out, every individual have also failed to learn how to manage their activities. Every individuals, most people have failed in managing their activities, in drafting a timetable on what and what not to do. Because in today's world, we cannot see everyone have that freedom of right to do whatever they want to do. Everyone have that freedom of right to engage in whatsoever thing they want to engage on. And these have also contributed to the reason why a lot of freedoms have enhanced the danger that a lot of people are facing today. It have also contributed to some mental downgrade or mental instability that people are facing. Let's see some of the discussion which they had in 2026 World Business Forum was how to implement AI, and the control system of AI is one of the things that they discussed about. And AI become the major target, the major horizontal discussion forums that they all just contribute, just focus their attention on. All right, let's see what are the major topic that was discussed in 2026 World Forums, Business Forums. According to this article, which says AI is going to power so much of the world, and I want it to be democratized. I want it to be open, and I want it to be competitive. And so things, and so the things I am interested in right now is new architectures of AI, new architecture of AI. This is what the interests are. And you can see what the discussion forums have always been centralized on. The world body, the world government are centralized on any inventory that is going to enhance their selfish desire gain, the things that they're actually looking out for. It's not for what will be, it's not are those things that are going to benefit the government or benefit its citizen, I mean to say. So these are the discussion that is being had in the World Economic Forums, which neglect the well-being of its citizens, which also neglect the risk that is plaguing every citizen of today's world. Their discussion have always been centralized on how to invent or bring an inventory that will cause more damage to the society. And now they are also aware, the world government are also aware on the notice to know that there is a serious issue plaguing the world. And these issues, which is commanding and destructive to the relations of every citizens, they don't know how to tackle it, and the best they could do is to add more and more that will bring destructive uh, or collapse to to the public. So one of the things that I strongly encourage all of my students to do, these are mostly concerned students. Here we are, what is already plaguing the youth. Depression has been the most serious sickness that is plaguing every nation of the world today. And the world have also put out the map of this depression rate of every countries in the world. And this map gives its statistics of all the countries of the world. And the depression disorder per each person, they also give the rate. Let's see what most of the world elite have also given. Like people that were present, they all give their contributions. We see the world leaders from every nations, most of the powerful nations in the world. They came in the world, they came to these economic forums to give their discussion, to give their opinions towards the this year 2026 World Economic Forums. Elon Musk is one of the prominent men, being known as one of the richest men in the world. And their discussion is mainly centered on more business deal, more inventory, more acquisitions of electronic device, and open AI. These are mainly their centralized discussion. These are mainly what they discuss on. And at the end of the day, you see that all of these, where does it come to the state of humanity? Seeing this as the general discussion in 2026 World Economic Forum, you you couldn't highlight anything that is mostly relating to how to enhance the well-being of every citizen of a country. Not that the money is there, because I do always want to ask the question: what stops the world to make the economy of each nations a great economy in order for the citizen to enjoy? Because if we are always going to be competitive in all what we do, we are striving so hard, giving giving to the look of how this world actually is. We brought nothing to this world, and we are also going out with nothing. And there is this consistent strive, there is this constant strive, that there is just a constant a contention between nations and nations, between individual and individuals. And at the end of the day, you find out that all of this, where does it lead to? It leads to nothing. So my question to the world government, in most times, those people who are in charge or in a position to help and to put the world in a better place, what stopped them from doing the least they could do to fix the economy of the country? if we are talking about the rate of depressions in today's world, and you might just want to better look at the life of individuals in the street. Do you know how many homeless individuals that are in the world today? Homelessness is on the highest risk. Let's just do some research on the homeless. Uh, Let me say the rate of homelessness in today's world compared to how it was previously in the previous years. Then you will find out that the government are not really concerned or really thinking on how to fix the real issue. But the real issue here is not by more invention that needs to be brought into the market. It's not by producing a lot of uh, market competitor to be able to make some serious business day. This is not the real issue. The real issue to tackle the issue of the world are many the most simplest issues. I mean, the most simplest things to do, but yet they neglect the most vital issue and focus on those less important issues. Let's look at the rate of homelessness in today's world. Then you will find out that the world is actually crumbling, and the government have to start doing what they need, what they have to, what they are expected to do. The world is crumbling, and there is a high rate of depressions. There is a high rate of homelessness. There is a high rate of mental instability. Autistic level have jumped to the top, and all what they could bring, whatever they could say, is the managing system is what they are programming. The managing system, not the remedy system, because if they are going to look at what could remedy the issue of depression, the issue of homelessness, and the issue of autism, I think this there will be a major activities heading toward that direction. But as of now, it's only a managing system. All right, let's check on this. Rate the rate of homelessness in today's world. The rate of homelessness, and you will be surprised that the rate of homelessness is on a high level, just as depression rate is on the high level. This is as of 2024, but I need the update of this so that we can be able to, be on this issue real time. 2026. All right. All right. This is the total. Oh my goodness. This is actually the world global crisis. The rate of homelessness now is a world global crisis that no country is spared from this plaguing issue. Homelessness as of now. And it concerns every one of us. Because if A is having an issue, B should be concerned, right? Okay, let's read as of 2026, early 2026. This is the statistics of what comes out, the rate of homelessness. Homelessness rate continues to show significant pressure, with projection indicating over 202,000 household could be homeless in the UK by 2026. In the US, while some data suggests a potential slight decline in early 2026 after a sharp 30% increase between 2022 and 2024, numbers remains near record high, with over 770,000 people estimated to be homeless as of January 2024. This is the rate of homelessness. In today's global rate, let's check on the global stage. The homeless state that we have, the key in as of 2024, no, let's see, as of 2025 to 2026, homelessness trend include global crisis estimate indicate that 1.6 billion, guys, take Take notice of these numbers that is being given. As of this year, 2026, homelessness is a global crisis, but yet we have some homes that are vacant in most regions of the states. Homes that nobody is staying, no one is living in that home. There are buildings. Government, it does not really take a whole lot for government to really, put these agencies out there that can control the homes of those, those homes that are in various cities that no one is inhabiting, to put those homes in others and then allow people who are homeless in the street to reside in there. It doesn't really take much, right? Let's continue to read what the statistics of 2026 have stated concerning homelessness as of today. Global crisis estimates indicate that 1.6 billion to 3 billion people, as of today. 1.6 billion to 3 billion people as of today. And how many people are on the earth? How many people do you think inhabit this planet Earth? The estimate is around 8 billion that lives in today's planet Earth. And out of that 8 billion, I would say 30% of all the total inhabitants of the earth are homeless. 30%. You can imagine, because if the estimate says 1.6 billion to 3 billion lack decent housing globally, you can see the estimate of what the data is stating. And the question is, there is a lot of these that are coming each day, each moment, by global forums, by global economies, stating that there is, a single person is almost $1.3 trillion rich. And it's not that difficult for such a person to put a housing arrangement or an housing programs for those who are living and sleeping in the street. And not, we're not going to talk about how many people die daily globally. The statistics of the people that die daily on each days that comes on earth. Every day that come on earth, almost no less than 230,000 people die every day, every single day. And most of those deaths are not meant to be. Of course, yeah, most of those deaths that happens is avoidable, but the people who are in charge decide to, to ignore some of this real issue, because in today's world there are real issues that are supposed to be focused on, that are, I'll call it, that are critical, that these issues, is an emergency issues that should be focused on, that should be, you know it should be the central fuse of all discussions. Even if there's going to be discussion of how to grow the economy, how to, have a implementation of AI, open AI, the government agency that's going to have the military acquisitions of our ammunitions, have the state budget infrastructure. All of these are good, but the real question is, these are things that human beings are meant to manage, because the real resources are not those, uh, should I call it, objective stuff. The real resources is human being. The first resource of life is human. Then we have the primary resources, then the tertiary, then the secondary. Human being is meant to be the primary resources before every other resources that are meant to follow. And here we are today in today's world. Then the government know that these are real issues and they are really not concerned. They are not really not giving the focus. Because I try to want to list out all of the things that were discussed in 2026. The world globally, all the world leaders gather for economic forums to discuss things that are important, things that are, meant to be discussed for the growth of each nation's GDP, or each nation's economic standard. But none of these issues were mentioned. The issues that is actually plaguing man, The issue that is actually plaguing the mental stability of every human being that lives on earth. None of this issue were raised. If you talk about the World Health Organization, these are still one of the things that they don't know how to begin to emerge with with the right solutions. All they do in each moment is to bring out a new inventory that also help to diminish the stability of every individual. Here we are. Look at what the statistics is saying regarding the mental stability of every human being on earth. These are the statistics of what is saying the homelessness that is plaguing the world today. How many thousands of people that are living in the streets? There are numerous people who are not supposed to be in the street, who are not meant to, you know, be left alone in the cold, to sleep in the cold, to sleep in unconditional, should I call it unfavorable condition. They are there night and day because they have zero option of what to do. They are left with no choice. And yet, none of this is a real issue to be discussed in a world stage. None of this is a real issue to be addressed in a world stage. And this is where my question that really breaks my heart. Where is the faith for humanity? If this is a globally crisis that 1 to 6% billion people, no, I mean to say, if 1 to 6 billion people that lives on earth to 3 billion people that lives on the earth are facing this real crisis, what will be left when we come to 2027 or 2028, if there will be? Because this is already something that is going to skyrocket. The volume is going to rise higher. The amount of homelessness is going to increase. If the necessary precaution is not being rendered, if the necessary mindset is not being built, this issue is only going to rise higher. The issue of homelessness is going to increase. The issue of autism will increase standardly. It will increase stage by stage. And here, the issue of depression will increase by volume. Certainly. Now we are talking about 3%. 3% of the rate of depression that is plaguing the earth today is a global crisis. And what are those things? What are the factors contributing to these depressions? There is a huge factors that is making this issue becoming a global issue. And if the government are not really concerned or looking out for the way forward on how to tackle this real issue, who is then going to tackle the issue? When are we going to see it as a concern? If it's already on paper, not just on paper, on real ground, yeah. In reality, it's already playing out. That is where you see there is a lot of human individuals that are on the street today who cannot fight for their safe. Most likely situation, it might be not it might not be the person's fault that he find himself in that situation. It might not be. I am not saying that all the situation that is out there are to be blamed on the government. No, it means sometimes life could happen, and life can happen to anyone. It doesn't really matter who you are. Life could happen. Is I call it a life is a gain of chance. If you could not take the chance at some point, life could happen to you. So sometimes we might want to blame the people who are in that condition, but not completely. Do not lash out all the blame on them, because sometimes some of these things are unavoidable, and here they find themselves in that situation. But now the question, now that they are in that situation, what should the world do? Should the world pay the blind eyes towards these real issues that is plaguing the earth? No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be so, right? It shouldn't be so. This is where we have to, take our focus from the blame and start looking for the solutions. What then should not be the solutions to recure the world from the line he is heading to? The line the world is heading to at this stage is a global concern. And it should be a global concern. It shouldn't be an individualistic concern. Certainly, it ought to be a global concern, because all of these that is being put out there is only going to increase. This is why it should be a global concern. This is why it shouldn't be an individualistic concern or a single-minded approach to tackle this real issue that is plaguing the world, because the world are not really ready, or the real problems are not what the government are focusing their attention on. Let's be realistic and let's come to terms, and let's look at the world and think of how your little contribution could mean a lot for any individuals who is out there struggling with life, because it's only going to grow worse. It's only going to grow worse. Look at where we are now, as of today, in today's earthly atmosphere, the whole system that is being built, the system that has been built for at least 40 years back. And now we are seeing that system be collapsing. We are seeing everything crumbling down, not the way it used to be before. Now we are seeing the new world order, which there is a deliberation of what uh, could be the formula to draft the new world order. We are seeing many nations aligning with one another. We are seeing many regions aligning with each other. We are seeing some alliance being formed, both economic alliance, a military alliance. All of these are being formed. What for? In the sense, why are we forming an alliance that is an antagonist to the other middle or to the other alliance? Why are we drafting a system that is going to be an antagonist to the other opposite set, to the other opposite direction? The thing is, the world is only operating on the phase system. Yeah, of a truth, the world is operating on the phase system because they are not looking on the right directions. Nobody is actually looking on the right directions in order to face the real issues. If you are going to have a real result from the approach that you are trying to make on a serious issue, you must begin to want to look at the right directions. Now, if the government don't know the right direction to look onto, every every one of us who are individuals must begin to set our mind on, okay, what then should we what then should we do, or what then do we need to do in order to begin to see that we are really penetrating in this area. Let's talk about the areas of depressions. This area is where we need to focus our mind on. The areas of depressions, the area of anxiety, the areas of autism, the areas of homelessness. These are real issues that cannot be ignored anymore. The world will not turn their eyes on these real issues that is plaguing the earth today, because the youth are mostly affected in this area. The youth of every country, most countries, the youth are mostly affected. Talking about depression, talking about homelessness, talking about autism, the youth are mostly affected. And now that the youth are mostly affected, and the government are not really taking the necessary precaution to tackle this issue, what then should we do? Because these are issues that cannot be ignored forever. If you think that you can ignore this issue now, just wait until the next 5 to 3 years to come. Then you will see how this will become a very much chaotic issues for the whole world to try to fix. It will be a very much chaotic issue that the whole world will be scrambling trying to fix it, because everyone are not looking on the right directions. Everyone on earth are just trying to turn their eyes on what they think is personal. There come a time when the real issues of every relations, it might be a family issues, but it will graduate from family issue to be a societal issue, and then it will graduate from societal issue to become a community issues. From community issue, it graduates to be a state issue, and from state issue, it eventually emerges to be a national issue, and from that, it will eventually become a global issues. This is what we are seeing today in the area of homelessness, in the areas of depressions, in the areas of you know all of these. It was first an individualistic issues. Then it becomes a family issues. From families, it graduated to be a state issues. Then now we are having it on a national issues. It is becoming a national issues that no one can ignore. The government could ignore it for some time, but I can assure you, in less than 3 to 4 years, this is going to be a global crisis. That if you turn left, this is going to affect you. You might think that it does not concern you now. It does not really have to connect to you. But there will come a time, thereby, if the necessary precaution is not being rendered, the necessary actions is not being implemented, it will become a global issue that no one can avoid. The state of depression, the state of homelessness is gradually becoming such. So, and for you, if you say it does not concern you now, just mark this what I'm saying to you, that in less than a year, or no, let me just put it on average state. In less than 3 to 4 years, this issue of depression will somehow in a way be connected to you, because it's firstly an individual problem, then it becomes a state issue. From state issue is becoming a national issue. Now it's a global crisis, because the government needs to take a necessary precaution, but they don't know what to do. Our main focus should be shifted from the government. Also, the government have a responsibility, but not all of the government. They cannot really tackle everything. Where it all starts from is when we have the form of humanity in us, the characters that we are supposed to have, the inbuilt character, the system that accumulates the areas of feeling, the areas of empathy, the area of being having that gesture mind towards your fellow human being. Because if any individuals that stays around you is mentally derailed, it should be your concern, because we are not just here for ourselves, right? This is where the whole issue is. Let's have this in our mind to begin to think that though we are here, we being here actually is for one another. Let's be concerned towards the real issue that is plaguing the earth. Now is the time to really begin to show an interest in the formula of the things that the world needs. The interest of what the world needs now is a collective unified mindset. A collective unified mindset that is in for solution for the issue that is plaguing the earth. Because the government cannot do it alone. The government does not have all it takes to do it. This is why the issue that is plaguing the earth is beyond what physical effort can bring. Is beyond what physical activities can bring. The government are trying to bring their own physical ability to see how to make an adjustment to the system that the world has. But they do not really have the real answer. The government does not have the real answer to the issue that the world is facing. This is where I always let everyone that I come across to know that don't center your mind on the government, because the government cannot really give you what you need. Where you need to center your mind on is there is a higher power out there. Believe it or leave it, God is in existence, and God is the ultimate. If any individual who haven't come across this experience will not realize actually this is real, because by the grace of God, I've come into this experience to speak to anyone in terms of when I project the issue of God to anyone, I let them know that it's a personal experience, not just because someone said to me or explained to me this is where I have my orientations about the things that God could do. No, where my building faith comes from is from the experience that God have helped me to have in Him. Such an experience, such an encounter of the functionality of things, the reality of the visible and the invisible. And these have plotted my mind to begin to center my mind on my help. It does not really come from any man. My help comes from God. And for this reason, my intention is on how to stick closer to God, so that when that delicate time comes in my life, He will come in for me, right? Yeah, this is what I am portraying out there to everyone that come across my cycle. I mean, that come into my cycle, to let them know that in this reality, in this atmosphere that we live in, this world that we all find ourselves in, firstly, we have to realize that there is a higher power who is superior beyond the government, beyond the system that we met, beyond our parents, beyond our status quo. we must begin to, get our mind in this area to know that God is real and God is ever willing to come in to the rescue of every man. All right. Yes, this is true. God is ever ready to come into the rescue of each and every one. But the thing is, you must open up your mind, open up your heart, open up your spirit to this great God. If you do, He is going to come into you, to eat with you and to sup with you. The thing is, most people does not really believe in the existence of God just because they haven't have an encounter. As I do say, if you have an experience with someone, it makes it impossible for you not to know that this thing is real. It makes it impossible when someone try to draft your mind off from the truth, because you are already an experience. You are already, a receiver of what you are explaining to someone, and this make it more easier for you to explain what you know. This is what God is. And for the world to begin to focus on the government, thinking that the government has the solution of what they need, it's impossible. The government does not have the solution that this world need. The government does not have the accumulated final solution to address the issue that is facing the world. The only solution the world has, the only solution the world need is God to fix the issue that is plaguing, the issue of, homelessness, the issue of depression, the issue of mental drain, the issue of autism. The solution is God. The solution is God. It's ultimate. It's finite. You cannot argue it. You cannot subtract it. You cannot remove it. The truth is, we all have seen that the system that we met has failed. It's all written over there. You can see the whole system that the one has have tried to offer for quite a long time. You have seen it. The system that was built ever since World War II. There was a system built to try to fix the world. Yeah, it was a legislative system, an approach to try to reduce war since World War II. The world government tried to set up the European Union for the process to bring peace to the world so that the world can we no longer experience war. But the question is, how has that worked? How had that system be able to keep the world out from a potential war or a potential invasion? It hasn't, right? This is why you see the war in Ukraine now is still on. This is why you see uh, nations trying to build a military power to be able to assault another nations. This is why you see terrorism has grown beyond imaginations, because every most people in the world are looking on the wrong directions. They are looking on the wrong directions because the government isn't the solutions. The government isn't the solution. The government isn't the solution. The solution is God. It remains God